Good morning, Night City! Yesterday's body count lottery rounded out to a solid and sturdy 30. 10 out of Haywood, thanks to unabated gang wars. One officer down, so I guess you're all screwed, cause the NCPD will not let that go. Got another blackout in Santo Domingo. Netrunners are at it again, poking holes in the power grid. While over in Westbrook, trauma teams scraping cyber psycho victims off the pavement. And in Pacifica, well, Pacifica is still Pacifica. This has been your man, Stan. Join me for another day in our city of dreams.
Hello, welcomes everyone, and Wolf here bringing you a new Let's Play. As you can no doubt tell from the opening cinematic, of course, or the title screen right in front of us, this of course is finally Cyberpunk 2077. This of course is version 2.13, the latest version of the game to come out here in September 2024, but this is a game that's been out for almost 4 years now, and a game that I've wanted to bring to the channel quite a few times. In fact, this is probably the 4th or maybe 5th time I'm attempting to record this series, and in fact earlier this year I tried to even stream this series on Twitch. With this first part of this series, as always, similar to my other Let's Plays, this is going to be an introduction to the game, what to kind of expect coming into the game, and we'll go through the prologue as well, introducing us to the world of Cyberpunk. Forgive me, the music is a little bit loud here at the very beginning of the title screen, so I'm turning it down in the background, just so that you can hear me a bit more clearly. So, with this introduction, there's a few things I should mention before we get into character creation and into the game itself. So, the first thing I should mention about this game, especially about this Let's Play, is this Let's Play is going to contain spoilers. This game is very story immersive, and if you've never played this game before, or you haven't played it for a few years, and you're interested in returning to Night City, then I would highly recommend pausing, stop watching this video, go back, play the game for yourself first, especially since last year with version 2.0, they finally introduced the Phantom Liberty DLC, which has added a whole new area for story content. They even changed various game mechanics, for example how cyberware works and such. So yes, if you have any interest in playing this game and have yet to do so, or haven't played it in a few years, please go back, play it yourself, enjoy it for yourself. You don't need to pick it up full price. Either pick it up on goodoldgames.com or on Steam when it's on sale. It tends to be on sale on at least one of those places. Play it for yourself and then maybe come back and see how my choices in this series may differ from the choices you made and how you played your character known as V. The other thing I should mention is there is a thriving modding community for this game. Of course, with each new version, with each new patch, various mods are broken and have to be rebuilt or updated for the new patch. For this series, I do have some mods installed. To my knowledge, off the top of my head, all of the mods I have installed are purely cosmetic in nature, or mods that help other mods run in the background. There is one that changes some skill progression, and we'll talk about that once that becomes a bit more relevant in the game. But yes, we are here in Cyberpunk 2077. I will be totally honest, I don't know about the tabletop game a great deal, because of course this is based from the tabletop game, but this world we find ourselves in is kind of an alternate take on our own world history, where, especially in America, there was an event known as the Collapse, and a lot of the various states of America for a time were independent, and even now with the reunification under the new United States of America, there are various states that are still trying to declare independence or under the control of various mega corporations. Corporations that have grown so large that they have more influence and power over most countries. And we'll learn more about that as we get into the game. The reason I mention this is this game is very grim dark in a sense. This game will have a lot of violence, will have a lot of bloodshed, will have dismemberment. In this alternate take on our own world history, transhumanism, the ability to change your appearance, to augment yourself with bioware and cybernetics, is readily available. In the year 2077, there have been a few what are called corporate wars, where these mega corporations have fought against one another, and they have developed new technology to help their soldiers fight against one another. After each of these wars, this technology has become commercialized and available to the average consumer. In this world, there are a lot of people who live day by day, who are poverty-stricken, but even those who live in the kind of the dregs of society are still able to afford low-cost cyberware. It may not be good for their bodies, and they may be in kind of constant pain from the cheap installation of such cyberware. But yes, technology is prevalent in this world, and there are people who have the influence and fortune to ignore all of these worldly troubles. But for most people, they struggle to survive day by day. Murder and mayhem are common in and around Night City, as we'll discover. So, I don't think there's anything else I need to really mention, so we'll get ourselves into character creation. There's probably a couple of things I should also come up with and talk to you about, but we'll get ourselves into the game, and then we'll go from there. So, we are starting, of course, a new game. We could jump to a certain point in the storyline, in the main storyline, so that we can get into the Phantom Liberty DLC. I'll be very honest, I've yet to explore Phantom Liberty. I know of some of the events, never looked into it myself, so I'm certainly looking forward to bringing a series here to YouTube and sharing that with you all. So, going to be starting in level 1. We get to choose our difficulty level. Our character, our protagonist, is a man or woman known as V, that is our alias. And we are going to be playing on hard difficulty. I'm very tempted to play on very hard difficulty. Depending on your play style, very hard difficulty is feasible, is very possible. Early on, your survivability will be, you might struggle a bit more early on until you get a bit more character progression, until you level up and unlock more powerful equipment, more powerful weapons. There are various augmentations you can purchase and install to make your chosen playstyle more effective. There are perks you can unlock. But early on, you are squishy. You are very, very squishy. And you have to be aware of that. I think for my preferred playstyle, at least in this series, we'll go with hard, which is still will provide a substantial challenge, and will bump it up to very hard later on. Normally, I love games that allow me to find alternate paths to achieve my objective, to be stealthy. And we are going to be doing some of that, but I also have a build where if and when shit hits the fan, and it will, we can actually survive in direct combat. And yeah, if we end up doing a second series where we choose an alternate path, we play the game a bit differently, I may go pure stealth ninja, and that's where we'll definitely play very hard. And now we get to choose our protagonist V's life path. This is important as each of these 3 life paths give us an introduction to how V discovered Night City, how we came to enter this world and where we find ourselves. For example, for anyone who's brand new to the game, the Nomad life path is perfect, as you were someone kind of doing a smuggling run, and you are literally a new arrival to Night City. And therefore, every street, every alleyway you go down will be new to you, and it gives you a justifiable roleplay reason to explore the world you find yourself in. On the opposite side, you can be a street kid, someone who literally grew up on the streets of Night City. I think in canon, in 2074, 3 years ago, for whatever reason you tried to find a better life in the city of Atlanta, and you have just returned to Night City after, unfortunately, well, you found life wasn't better for whatever reason. And of course we have the Corpo life path, which again, canonically has your character growing up in a more cleaner area of Night City, where your family put you through corporate school and you find yourself as part of counterintelligence for the mega corporation known as Arasaka, and we'll learn plenty about them. For this series, because I have played this game a few times, Street Kid, I will openly and honestly say, was my least favorite life path when I first started, and now it's grown on me that I actually prefer this life path. That we've grown up on the streets, we know the gangs, we know the different districts, and the dangers that we may find ourselves in when exploring Night City. And now we get to choose our appearance. I do love to play as a female V. I think the voice actress did an extremely good job at playing as V, and kind of how her emotions elevate the character a bit more. But because male V doesn't get too much love, we'll play as a male V, why not? I've already chosen an appearance. 2 moments. Sorry about that, had to clear my throat. We're very much playing the almost default looking V. We've changed the hairstyle slightly, changed the jaw a little, but we're very much the default looking V here. As I say, there's plenty of cosmetic mods you can install to change your appearance, your hairstyles. There's a lot of options to customize your character how you want, but we're keeping it very simple. Normally I would make, say, Adam Jensen from Deus Ex Human Revolution. If we do that and we play as a male V again, that's when we may choose like the Corpo life path, because it would seem a bit more appropriate. But, as I say, yeah, we won't need to go through all these options. I had the preset saved. Don't think there's anything I need to really add here. We could add some tattoos, maybe. There are a few tattoo options. I don't know. We'll leave it blank for the moment. We'll leave them turned off. And now we get to customize our starting attributes. This is not majorly important right now. You have the 5 core attributes here. Every time you level up, you will gain a point to invest in these core attributes, as well as a perk point. Now, during dialogue, there may be certain options available, and if you don't have enough points in the required attribute, you won't be able to select that dialogue option. For example, if you put more points into body, you are able to choose more threatening or intimidating options to try and either escalate or even de-escalate a situation. For someone who has more points in intelligence, it's not as if you're stupid if you have low intelligence, but intelligence normally indicates that you have some knowledge of the net, of accessing the various terminals and laptops that you'll encounter in and around Night City. Technical ability is an introduction to your technical know-how and how you may interact with turrets or various doors that have technical overrides. It also allows you to equip more cyberware, as your body will be more attuned or accustomed to then upgrading, boosting your body further than its norm. Now, this can be important because your core attributes can only be maximized to 20, and you can only get up to, with Phantom Liberty, up to level 60, which means you cannot unlock everything in a single playthrough. And if you screw up and say you haven't put points into intelligence and you want to learn how to be a net runner later on, you can only refund your core attributes once per playthrough. So this is kind of important. So you kind of have to look at your chosen playstyle quite early on to know how to invest your points. Your perk points can be refunded at any time, but there are certain thresholds you need to unlock certain perks, and those thresholds are reached by a certain investment in these core attributes. For the very beginning of this series, I'm gonna boost everything once. The very basic, the very starting perks require you to have 4 points in any of the core attributes. Cool is likely going to be our dump stat, but I want some basic perks in the stealth tree. As for everything else, I'm going to go body and technical ability for a few of the opening dialogue options. And during the prologue, during Act 1, we'll likely put points in the reflexes and intelligence for some other up-and-coming dialogue options. But that'll do us fine. And now we get to the summary screen. See, our alias is V, we're playing on hard difficulty. We are playing with the Street Kid Lifepath. Okay. One final thing I should mention about this series. This series is going to be very long. The prologue in Act 1, everyone has seen the prologue in Act 1, or at least most people have. It's a scripted almost event where you are very much locked into one district and you are getting ready for the major heist, the gig of a lifetime to make you a legend in Night City. And for those of you who know what happens, you know what happens. Going into Act 2 onwards, it kind of opens up, allowing you to explore Night City a lot more, but there are a lot of quests that kind of either implicate that you have a time limit, or the quest itself might actually have a time limit, and if you don't complete the quest in a certain time, it will automatically fail, and there may be repercussions for that. This game, Night City, as we'll find ourselves, is huge. There's a lot of places to explore in Night City. There are a lot of quests dotted around the different districts. Some might not even become available until we reach a certain story act. The reason I mention this is, even with all the quests, all the missions that are available, there is a lot of Night City that you will never normally have to travel to. There are streets I've never even walked or driven down. But in this series, even though I would like to make each part like its own part of the series, like its own purpose, doing certain quests, working with certain fixers, doing a part of the main storyline, there may also be parts where we may simply go shopping for new clothing and weapons. There may be parts where we just go down some of the streets that we've never explored before in certain districts and see what we find. We might find absolutely nothing, but at the same time, there are a lot of Easter eggs in this game, some for different media, for television, for movies, from other video games. There's a lot of little surprises you can find. There are a lot of what are called data shards, which can give you an insight into the world that we find ourselves in. And there is a database giving you an introduction or a scrolling history of the different gangs, corporations, the different districts, and we'll be looking at the database and learning more about the world we find ourselves in. And yeah, I just think that's important to mention. This series, this game, for me is almost like a passion project. I want to try my best to give you a nice and wide look at this game, and not just the quests that it offers, but maybe we'll go down and hopefully find a few Easter eggs ourselves. And yeah, I just thought I'd mention that because there are going to be parts where we may do very little, but hopefully find some things of interest, and I hope you'll all enjoy the journey with me. The reason that I mention that here is because there is actually an Easter egg here on the summary page, which I imagine most people know about, but if we click here, feel free to pause. There is a little bit of an Easter egg there. It kind of gives you a spoiler to the end of Act 1 going into Act 2, but yeah, okay. Let's get ourselves into the game, shall we?
A little anesthesia.
Oh, motherfucker.
Everything chill, mano?
Some bastard tried to mug me. I handled it.
Oh, local guy.
You really think somebody local will try to mug me, Pepe?
Listen, V, I got a problem. Serious this time.
Found yourself a hole, sounds like. You need help?
Knew I could count on you. It's, Kirk. I owe him. Don't pay by tomorrow, said he'd bust my legs. And he don't joke about that stuff. Got cartels in his corner.
You in it with Kirk? Every man, woman, and rat in Haywood knows he's a fucking shark.
My bro jumped the joint, deserved a hero's welcome. I know I fuck up, V.
You ever gonna get wise, Pepe? Please tell me your brother's doing all right.
Doing his thing, you know. So, can you help?
I'll talk to Kirk, but then you're gonna owe me one.
You're saving my life, V. Truly.
Demons walk with him. They tear at his soul. But I'll tell him you're sorry and wish to make peace.
And welcome to the world of Cyberpunk 2077, everyone. And we are here, starting off as the street kid in El Coyote Kojo, in the district of Haywood, I believe it is. Seems we're helping out the bartender Pepe here.
Hey, where's the rest?
Still unpacking, man.
I'll be checking exactly. He was 2 bottles of Sensan short last delivery.
No, that ain't possible.
Still feel like shit.
Little hair of the dog?
Yeah, give me a sec.
I was at the hospital today. Javi's got some broken ribs, but praise Jesus, the bullet didn't hit any organs.
What happened?
A police manhunt. They were chasing some dealers.
So he had it coming, eh?
He was just standing there. Standing, understand? NCPD pigs were shooting everyone. He don't deal, never has. Having brown skin, that's the only thing he's guilty of.
It's very easy to kind of rush around and get through this game and go from one place to another, but I like to walk around and just take in some of the ambience, some of the atmosphere. And that is again another thing I'm hoping to share with you all, especially some of the interactions with the NPCs as well, to give us more background into the world we find ourselves in.
Hey, Kirk. Want to talk?
V, been a while? Spin it. What you need?
Pepe asked me to talk you up.
What, he too shy to hand over the Eddies himself? Tell him I don't bite. Not yet.
Hell's your problem? What's he owe you?
Afraid that's client confidentiality. Call it a lot, and leave it at that.
A cred shark with business ethics. Sounds too good to be true.
Well, Merry fucking Christmas.
Cut him some slack, will you? He'll pay. Just need some more time.
Do I look like a priest that runs a charity to you? You borrow Eddies, you gotta pay him back. With interest. It's common fucking knowledge. You suggesting I let a flaky cunt who can't keep a deal off the hook?
No, you let him off because it's me asking.
You know me. I'm a man of the biz. So I need to know what I get out of it.
Know what, Kirk? I sometimes get the impression you forget you aren't from around here. Pop into Haywood for the occasional visit, sure. But you live far, far away in Pacifica.
What are you getting at?
Getting at? You're probably needing to think before you start something with the local sun.
I'm open to other options.
What's this?
Grab a look. Preem ride there on the page. Only 4 of them in NC as of now. 1, Rayfield Regional Director. 2, Mayor Ryan. 3, a rental service.
And 4?
Number 4 will belong to my client, just as soon as you clep it for me, that is.
I do this, and Pepe's debt is squared.
Of course. I'm a man of my word. You know that. Whole thing's simple. You swipe the Rayfield for me, I clear Pepe's account. Even toss in a cut for you, I'm such a nice guy. My man Rick works a parking structure by Embers, club where our Rayfield driver likes to kick it. There every Friday night, like clockwork. Soon as you appear, security cam shut down, gate swings up, the road is yours. Just gotta grab the Rayfield and roll out. Simple.
Who's the owner?
Just an Arasaka suit from across the water. Spews cash out of every hole in his body.
And his name?
How would I know? Why would I care? It's a hot item and I know where to find it.
And your man Rick?
Trust him like my own brother.
Plan sounds shaky as fuck.
Oh, how so?
Sounds like you're looking for a sucker.
This ain't no setup, V. Heard you got a good head. Maybe we help each other make a few eddies.
How am I supposed to do this? Expect me to slide under the chassis on a skateboard for a quick hot wire? Fast and easy? Kirk, wheels like this got security systems. Good ones.
This bitty bop works like the key Rayfield techs use for repairs. Opens locks, bypasses identity authorization.
A skeleton key for all Rayfields in the city. Come on, Kirk, even you don't buy that.
Kabuki's tech wizards sell more magical shit than this under the counter. Have a little faith. So, we all agreed then?
Best keep your word, Kirk.
Easy, V. Job's gonna pad your wallet too, you know? Head to Embers in the Glen. Rick's in the garage, be waiting for you. You two will hit it off. Good luck out there. We'll be in touch.
Seems too good to be true, but we actually have our first gig here since our return to Night City from Atlanta. Of course, the gig sounds shady as fuck, as we said ourselves, but it's to do a good deed for Pepe.
Man, it don't matter. Perales, Ryan, suits from the same circle.
Nah, Perales is different. Live just 2 blocks from me. You'll see. Soon as he's elected, corps are gonna start sweating bullets.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
So we have 2 NPCs here talking about who is going to be the next mayor of Night City, with the elections coming up next year, I believe.
Bullshit. El cabrón is best in his weight class.
So, he laid off Hernandez. Be right here. But Kato's got the game. You'll see.
Who, Japanese dude? A boxer? Please.
Kano's got the best feet. Can't fuck him up if you can't hit him.
So how's it gonna be, V?
Kirk's letting it go. Leaving you be. I'm not, though. You fucking owe me big.
V, you're saving my life. I mean that.
Yep, I know. So, let's get ourselves out of the El Coyote Kojo.
Ah, fuck, I'd take a trip somewhere, you know, for like 2 days.
So go. Who's stopping you?
And we'll take the back exit, of course.
I can pay it.
Who's?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Spare a veteran some change?
So you're a vet today, huh?
What can I say? War stories rake it in.
Here. All yours.
Knew I saw good in you. God bless.
Here in Night City, we are in the state of North California, and this is technically an independent state. Technically,
The
I
cybernetic god
suppose.
comes to devour its children.
Talk to the people in Santo. Tell them to be ready.
Yes, Padre.
Well, who do we have here? We. Long time. Didn't know you were around.
Yep, no place like home. Sebastian Ibarra. Haven't changed a smidge.
No one calls me by my name anymore. Almost forgotten how it sounds.
How are things, Padre?
The same. Haywood. Nothing ever changes here. I'd rather hear about you.
Got back from Atlanta a few weeks ago.
See you got a good down-home welcome. How was it back east?
Tell you later. Got something on my plate.
How about you fill me in now? We'll give you a ride. Marcus, let's go.
And it looks like we're not being given a choice here.
So where to?
The Glen. Drop me off at Embers.
Front door?
Take the ramp, back of the bar. Show you where to stop.
You heard it, Marcus. Your return to NC has been good? Busy already?
2 years gone by, not much has changed.
You know Haywood. It has strong roots, ever watered by the same blood. Now, tell me about you.
Pick up something here and there. Nothing major. But I'm getting by. Appreciate the concern.
So, Atlanta didn't turn out like you expected, huh?
Went there without expectations, actually. Well, except that it'd be better than here. It wasn't.
Maybe it'll all work out for the best.
Shit.
Stop the car.
What's going on?
Business. You carrying?
Oh, wonderful.
Sebastian Ibarra. Looks like it's my lucky day
What do you want?
to settle our biz once and for all. Got an offer for you, Paddy, so listen up. Get the fuck out of Vista. Pull your boys off the street. I'll give you the Glen. Done deal. No more restless nights. See how generous I can be? Well, Paddy, what's it gonna be?
One more fucking word.
Stay out of this! I don't know you.
And I don't know you, which means you're worth shit around here and capable of even less. Well, anything else?
It seems our conversation has come to a close.
Careful, Padre. Never know who's got a barrel at your six. You neither, shit bucket.
Marcus, please. I am pleased to see you have not forgotten your roots. Still have the gift. So many of the little shits left around here. Their spines go soft when they look down a barrel.
Who was that?
No one important. He'll be gone in a week's time. Another will come in his place.
He pulled iron on you.
He did. And he will pay for doing so.
Pull up here. Right here. I'll just drop down below.
Here, before you go.
Your number.
Could be useful. Maybe we can also work together again. Take ourselves back 2 years.
Thanks, Padre. Gotta go.
So go with God.
Our I'll be damned.
Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, a lot just happened there. See, we got introduced to another major figure here in the Haywood district. So why don't we talk about that before we get ourselves into Embers, which is a rather classy club which normally would not let us walk through the front door. But we do have the back entrance to the garage right around the corner here. But we'll pull up the main window here. There are various plates that'll give us an idea of where we find ourselves in the storyline. We have made no progress on the main storyline, of course. Night City is where legends are born. All you gotta do is seize the opportunities it offers, and eventually everyone will have to start paying attention. Of course, we could look at the inventory. We'll look at that later. We'll talk about cyberware inventory, character progression. We'll talk about that when it's a bit more relevant when we get into Act 1. We do have the map here. We'll talk more about the map as well, but suffice to say, we start right here in almost the center of Night City, in the region known as Haywood. It is made up of 3 sub-districts: Vista del Rey, the Glen, and Wellsprings, and we just encountered 2 major factions. We have Padre, who is no longer part of the gang known as the Valentinos, who control these 3 districts or sub-districts, and a group known as the 6th Street Gang, who operate primarily out of Santo Domingo, and it seems like they were hustling Padre to get out of Vista del Rey, which borders on their territory. As I say, Padre, I believe, was a member of the Valentinos. Padre nowadays is what you would call a fixer. Fixers are individuals of certain influence. For example, take yourself for instance, and you covet something from someone you met, or say you want a promotion at work, but you can't go exactly through legal means. You may want to hire someone to look into your boss to find if you can find any leverage to get them fired for you to then take their place. But how would you do that? You have none of the skills needed. Well, you might approach a fixer depending on the district you are in. The fixer normally has a book of capable mercenaries, normally ones they've worked with for many years that they know well, and the skills that they provide. The fixer will charge you a certain fee. The fixer themselves will keep a portion of that money. The rest will go to the mercenary who will do the job, depending on what the job actually is. And that's kind of how it works. Each district has their own major fixer. Sebastian Ibarra, of course, being the fixer of Haywood. And normally when you enter as a mercenary ourselves, because that's what we are, as we enter each fixer's territory, they will likely contact us as an introduction, and if they think we have the relevant skills for a job, they may offer us a job, and as we prove ourselves, they may offer us more work. We can actually go to the journal here to see our current quest. Of course, we do have the Phantom Liberty quest, which we can't access right now. We need to make a name for ourselves. And each quest will give us a few database options into what may be relevant. So, of course, I believe the El Coyote Kojo may be in either the Glen or maybe in Vista, in the Haywood district. And of course, Embers is in the Glen itself. But we can learn about the different districts. We won't look at every database entry, but we'll see which ones may be relevant and may be interesting. Of course, here in Haywood, as it mentions, yeah, the streets of Haywood are controlled both by the Valentinos and the 6th Street Gang. There is a bit of gang warfare, though it is a little bit on the low end at the moment. Haywood does border the more prosperous and corporate-controlled city centre, and as we'll discover during the course of the game, a lot of Night City was rebuilt after a nuclear device was detonated back in 2023. A lot of people were displaced thanks to this nuclear explosion, and a lot of the city centre and the surrounding districts were rebuilt. Now, anything of interest we should look at the moment? Oh yeah, we were talking about Night City itself. Night City is here in North California. Of course, California was split between North and South, and North California is part of the various free states, with the NUSA, the new United States of America, believing that they should reunify the various states of America, and being backed by the mega corporation known as Militech. They have tried to either diplomatically or forcefully annex a lot of the states back into the fold. We have the Unification War, or the Metal Wars, in 2069 to 2070, where the NUSA tried to actually take control of North California. They would have probably succeeded, but the now mayor of Night City, Lucius Rhine, he wasn't mayor at the time, invited the mega corporation Arasaka back to Night City, where Arasaka put a lot of resources and manpower into helping defend North California. At the end of the war, a ceasefire was signed in Arvin in South California. Technically, North California and Night City handed over their independence, but they were allowed to remain or to govern themselves autonomously. At the moment, the NUSA have a presence here in Night City, but we're pretty sure that the NUSA would certainly like to fully annex Night City in North California in the very near future, which will likely have some story elements into Phantom Liberty, I believe. But we'll talk about the whys and hows of that later on. So, is there any other database entries we should mention? A lot of these kind of give you an introduction to how you should play your character, like how you level up your various skills. We have miscellaneous entries, that's not so important. Story locations. Okay, so we have an entry here, for example, of the El Coyote Kojo, run by the universally liked Mama Wells. Its clientele mainly consists of locals, but anyone is welcome, as long as they can pay, of course. We have an entry of Night City itself, founded by the visionary industrialist Richard Knight back in the 1990s, before the collapse, I believe. Richard Knight envisioned a modern metropolis free from crime, poverty, and corruption. Unfortunately, Richard Knight was assassinated. In fact, I believe the city was originally to be known as Coronado City, based on where it's situated on the Coronado Bay. But it was renamed in his honor by the Night City Council. There are various megacorporations that now make Night City their main base of operations, or at least they have some major infrastructure here, their own building of control. There is actually a mega corporation known as Knight Corporation, which are meant to be a mega corporation looking into improving the lives of the people of Night City. But there is always more to mega corporations than you would, than the common people would know. We'll put it that way. Either way, I've talked far too much. As I say, this is a beautiful game, and I just love to take my time and just try to take in some of the sights. As we go to different districts, you'll see different wall art, various bits of graffiti, depending on the different gangs that are situated around. Night City is a beautiful metropolis, including the griminess, trash, the kind of abandonment of some of the districts is really noticeable, but then when you go to some of the more well-maintained districts, you'll notice a vast difference. Or when you go to some of the underbellies of the nicer districts, you'll see they've basically tried to hide the, I suppose, the dirt and grime.
Oh, fuck.
Corpo thieves must die. And that is the symbol of Arasaka that's been crossed out.
Here.
We have various brands. Chromanticore. I may add some more mods as the series goes on to maybe clear up some of the advertising.
V? Status?
On location. About to find your man.
Rick's one of the good guys, you'll see. I trust him like a brother.
Yeah, so you said.
Most people in this world, or at least in Night City, have a form of very simple BioWare for communications. And in fact, I'm not sure if we can even find that out. This is obviously cyberware here. They have kind of like an operating system, allowing them to obviously communicate without, say, like a handheld phone. In fact, I think in the tabletop for netrunners, they would have literally like a cyber deck, almost like a keyboard, allowing them to hack into various info terminals and such and servers. Nowadays, a lot of it is, with the enhancement in technology, a lot of it's kind of like wireless. And yes, this is obviously the garage of Embers. And a lot of these vehicles, at this point in time, we do not have the eddies, the euro dollars to afford. As I said, this is a place that is, they would look at us, and if we tried to sneak in, they would throw us into the trash. Or kill us, because life is cheap in this world.
Yeah. Something I can help you with.
You Rick?
Yep. You with Kirk?
Yep.
Cameras are blind. You got 20 minutes.
Okay. So, Rick here has disabled the security cameras, lowered the ramparts here.
Kirk, I see the ride.
Your moment to shine, kiddo. Good luck.
Let's take this piece of wonder tech for a whirl.
You're a man of little faith. See? We're rich. Now fire her up and call me when you're underway. Tell you where to go.
Looks like this'll be a cool breeze.
Get the fuck out.
Okay. Easy.
Nothing personal, compa. Just biz. Rayfield's mine.
What? Man, never heard of thieves' honor. Finders keepers. I was first.
Listen, only one of two ways to do this. Friendly or fucked up. Either way, the ending's the same. I'm taking the car.
What are you doing?
Que chingados?
NCPD, drop your weapons.
Don't move! You're under arrest!
Stay where you are!
Hands where I can see them. Nice and slow.
On the ground, motherfuckers, now!
Jackie Wells, my old pal from the hood. See you haven't grown an ounce wiser.
Hey! Detective Stintz. Been a while, huh?
Inspector Stintz.
Same shit.
Speaking of, your mug's familiar too.
Yeah? Yours ain't to me.
Left for Atlanta, looking for a slice of happiness. Guess you didn't find it. I've always maintained it's the same for all you termites in Haywood. Born here, live here, die here. Looks like I was right.
Enough of the chatter. What now?
Getting booked. Gonna do a stint. Get it?
Come on, Stintz. Give us a break, huh? You lock us up, let's just jerk off till trial. And then what? Worst case, we get some months. Hell, standing room only nowadays in El Bote. So, they'll probably be out early.
Are these the thieves?
Fuck,
Ordinary street trash.
Got him in custody, Mr. Fujioka. We'll be taking him now.
It's a waste of effort. I have no time to testify or play at an investigation.
Suggesting we let him go, sir?
I suggest you toss them in the sea. Cuff legs broken so this trash doesn't float.
You heard him.
Fuck.
Fuck, I just fixed my nose.
Motherfucker. Ugh.
Honestly, for a sec there, things looked iffy. Wasn't sure we'd worm out of that alive.
Nah, Stintz wouldn't do us like that.
You sure about that?
Mm-hmm. He's Hayward born, bred, and grown like us. Hates suits as much as you do. Did what he had to do. That's it.
If I hadn't come, you'd be cruising Night City in sexy wheels right now.
Nah, come on. Job was toxic from the start. Even Kabuki under-the-counter magic can't get around an alarm like that. Should've known I'd have the PD on my ass.
So, maybe now, as God ordained. Jackie Wells.
V.
I know you. You hang at the Coyote.
Wait, Wells? Like Mama Wells? Thought I'd recognize the name.
She's my blood, all right. Coyote's her dive. It's strange you and I never met before.
Got the job to steal those wheels at the Coyote. From Kirk.
You work with that sewer slug?
Pepe wasn't big and can't afford to pay, so I stepped up.
Man, gotta wonder about Pepe letting slimy Kirk boss him around like that.
Heard what they say. He's backed by cartels.
Cartels? No, listen. I know those cartel types, and I guarantee you, none of them have even heard of Kirk. El cabron's gotta learn. He don't do people in Haywood dirty. Come on, let's go have some lunch.
Lunch?
You would not believe my mama's chili. Best in town. Getting one of my good feelings.
About what?
About us. Sense a kind of chemistry, you know? Come on. I'm fucking starved.
Okay, food it is. Let's go.
Hello there, Night City! Stanley here with you, and we got another day ahead of us in this city of dreams. Ooh, I love this town. Love it like you might love a mother who popped you out on the steps of an orphanage once and now stops you to ask if you got a smoke for her. Every new day here means 100 new arrivals, but only half these gonks will survive a year, and that's if it's a good one. And why do these peeps come to NC? Well, to be street samurai like Morgan, Blackhand, and Waylon Boa Boa. The greater the risk, the bigger the bounty, kids. Or so they say. But you can only be a major league player for so long. The faster you live, the faster you burn out. If you don't get a bullet to the brain first. NC's legends. Know where you'll find most of them? The graveyard. Matters not where you're from. Matters not where you start. What matters here is the walk you walk. In Night City, the city of dreams.